A real quick video for this week. I'm here in Oman still, and I'm photographing some modern architecture, as you can kind of see there behind me, where I've got restricted hours and restricted time of day to be able to photograph it. And although it's nice light, it is challenging with shadows, and also the fact that you're not allowed to use a tripod. So in this week's video, I'm going to be going through something fairly quick, 6 or 7 minutes, the battles of being in a foreign country where you don't understand the law or the rules, and the fact that they could be very different from your own. So in this week's video, we're just going to be running through some of those tips for you.
The Oman Across Ages Museum sits just south of Nizwa, the Al Hajar Mountains visible in the distance. It is not just hidden away in the mountains though, it stands on a flatter stretch of land close to the highway, which makes its sharp geometric form feel even more striking. The design takes inspiration from the profiles in the canyon of the mountains, but the building has its own presence. From the outside it feels angular, modern and controlled, while inside it tells the story of Oman, from its early history through to modern times, using immersive displays, film, sound and exhibits. It's not just a museum about the past, it also looks at where Oman is going next.
So a beautiful building, I think you'll agree. It's not been open so long, to be honest. It's been open just a few years. It's got some lovely shapes and clean lines, but there is a few challenges that go along with this building. I mentioned a few in the intro, and that is the fact that you can only come here at certain times of the day. So we were going to come this morning. It doesn't open, and the grounds don't open until 9 AM. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge is a little breezy. So some of the water and the water pools, the reflection pools, are rippling up. Next issue is you've got to get permission well in advance to use a tripod, apparently. And of course, we didn't do that on the basis that I actually only found out about the building about 6 days ago whilst in Oman. So I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to start with the first, and that is the fact that I've been looking for strong contrasts. I started off on the other side of the building, where I'm going to walk you to in a second. And actually what I was trying to do was capture images where there was like light bursting between the two different triangle roofs and actually casting strong patterns on both the wall and then reflecting on the floor. So looking for repetitive shapes is my first tip when it comes to this style of architecture. So, for the ripples and the fact that I couldn't use a tripod, I was actually just using my camera and putting it on some of this wall structure behind me here. So basically there's a piece of wall, and it's not perfect for composition. However, I could then put on like a filter, 3 stop, 5 stops, 10 stops, something like this, to be able to kind of counteract some of those ripples. Now, that worked fairly well. However, I also realized when you get further back and get some more perspective on the building, that also the ripples weren't so obvious in frame. So that's another tip I've got for you on the ripples, first of all. Now, that's a very niche topic and not one of the wider points, of course, of this video. But it's kind of like a bonus tip, I suppose.
For me, places like this are a reminder that photography is not just about finding strong lines, light and composition, it's also about respect. When we photograph in new countries, we arrive as guests. That means slowing down, watching first, and understanding the place and what it means before pointing a camera at it. Inside museums, mosques, old homes, villages, or heritage spaces in general, the camera can feel intrusive if we use it without care. So I try to ask when needed, keep a low profile, avoid photographing people without permission, and remember that not every moment needs to be captured. Good travel photography is not about taking as much as possible. It's about reading the room, respecting the culture, and leaving space for people to feel comfortable. Because the strongest image is not always the one you force, sometimes it's the one you earn by being patient, polite, and aware of where you are.
So a building like this is really going to punish wonky lines. So in other words, where your verticals aren't straight, unless you've done it by design. So look to keep your angles straight. And some of the tips I've got for you are going to help you to do that. Try and think about the usual architecture compositional techniques, even if it's a challenge to do so. So keeping your verticals vertical, nice and straight, upright, and not leaning, pushing off to one side or the other. Slow down, be patient, and think about your framing. Sometimes with this stuff, less is more. And that is the case when it comes to framing too and getting those verticals straight, because you can punch in 35mm and easily check your framing and then go wider to get your main shot. Now, some people here are using a 12mm lens. You can imagine the problem that would create. So actually, watch your edges of your frame. Super wide angle lenses distort things even more, and keeping those verticals straight are going to be a real challenge. So keep an eye on that. Punch into 35mm if needed, check your framing throughout, and then readjust and go back fully wide to your widest point if shooting on the wide angle.
Architecture photos can often look calm, but the process is anything but. It can be messy, very messy. You might have groups working the same space, people getting in each other's way, bags or tripods in the shot, or people walking through the frame. I try to avoid this with my groups where possible, but it can still be permission problems, access issues, and lighting problems too.
Now, only use people if it's showing scale. Don't just look to kind of put people in for the sake of it, because actually sometimes the people can be distracting, especially if they're in groups or walking through. Now, this of course is an Islamic country as well, so on top of that I have to be respectful of the people, and that's very important. So in my case here, I'm avoiding them altogether, but you could get singular people walking through, but only if they really add something to the frame. Of course, in Oman there's a lot of people wearing white, ladies wearing black, but ladies aren't really to be photographed, so a white against white subject wouldn't really work, so hence why I've avoided it altogether.
Waiting and patience are part of the technique of photographing architecture. We wait for people to move, we wait for the space to clear, we wait for the light to change. We're waiting for a key holder, waiting for permission, waiting for access. One small thing in the space to shift. And that waiting is just part of the process. There are many factors at play. The calm image at the end often comes as a process that felt anything but calm.
So some people in the group actually use their camera strap for extra support, so making a bit of a triangle shape between their strap, the neck, and their two, points on the camera where it's attached. And that can assist, especially if you're not easy on your feet and so on. I didn't do that. I used things like posts, pillars, and any framing I could where necessary to make it kind of a stronger point. So kneeling down, using posts, using even dustbin at one point to kind of get some sort of extra support on the camera. Now that's not because it's it's not because it's like dark and it's a long exposure, but mostly it's because I'm using my live view all of the time, and it can be tricky to kind of capture the edges and get them all fixed in and correct. Edges, of course, are a really strong point of a composition when it comes to architecture, especially modern architecture with these nice clean lines.
The list of challenges continues. You can have bright windows, deep shadows, dark corners, reflections and harsh light bouncing off tiles or flooring. And I normally use a tripod, but that's not always possible. Sometimes I work handheld, and while that's not something I worry about too much these days with modern cameras, it's still another challenge to overcome. There are also small practical things that make a big difference, such as using a polarizer at this space, removing distractions, making small tripod movements, cleaning up composition before taking the shot. These are all things I've spoken about many times on the channel before, including in last week's video.
Also, when you're doing this stuff, think about your focal length. Change it up where needed. Don't constantly shoot with the same lens. Wide, medium, telephoto will give you the range of choice throughout, and obviously give you variation in your shots and make them more complementary. Also, another thing is to move around the building repeatedly. If you don't move around the building repeatedly, the light changes throughout and you'll miss something. So keep going back to spots you think have potential for later. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed my photos from this spot. I know it's a quick video, giving you plenty of tips as well. Until next time, it'll be my final video in Oman. See you all very soon. If you've got any comments, leave them below, and I'll see you all very, very soon.